Ever felt the irresistible pull of everyone else's rhythm, silencing your own unique melody that's waiting to be heard? It's the tug-of-war between individuality and conformity we're all familiar with. It's time to question, why do we conform, and what are we sacrificing in the process? In a world that often values sameness over uniqueness, it's no surprise many of us are enticed into fitting into the mold. But have you ever stopped to think about why we're so eager to conform? That's where this journey begins. We're here not just to explore the what and the how, but also the why of conformity. And who better to guide us than some deep-thinking existentialists? As we embark on this exploration, we'll dig beneath surface-level behaviors, unearthing the roots of our conformity. We'll shine a light on those dusty corners of our psyches, uncovering how they shape our actions and interactions. So get ready for a philosophical excavation into authenticity versus conformity. And who knows, you might just unearth something extraordinary about yourself along the way. Conformity. What does it actually mean? It's more than just following the crowd or wearing the same brand of sneakers as everyone else. According to the Oxford Dictionary, conformity is behavior in accordance with socially accepted conventions or standards. Essentially, it's when we alter our behaviors, attitudes, or beliefs to match those of a certain group. Think of it as playing a role, which brings us to Carl Jung and his concept of the persona. In Jungian psychology, the persona is an outward-facing aspect that we present to the world. It's not necessarily who we are at the core, but rather who we appear to be. And often, this appearance is heavily influenced by societal norms and expectations.
The persona is a complicated system of relations between individual consciousness and society, fittingly enough a kind of mask, designed on the one hand to make a definite impression upon others, and on the other to conceal the true nature of the individual.
Now let's turn our attention to a philosophical concept, the noble lie. This term was coined by Plato in his work, The Republic, referring to a myth or untruth knowingly propagated by an elite to maintain social harmony or advance an agenda. In terms of conformity, it can be seen as society's narrative that encourages us all to fit into predefined roles and norms. The noble lie convinces us that this is for our own good and for the greater good. So there you have it, conformity. Not just following suit, but also wearing a persona shaped by societal expectations and sometimes even compelled by noble lies. Seems straightforward enough? Or does it strike you as slightly alarming? Let's dig deeper. Have you ever wondered why humans tend to follow the crowd? What prompts us to abide by certain norms and rules? It all boils down to our evolutionary history. Picture this: thousands of years ago, in the era of our hunter-gatherer ancestors, living in tribes and working cohesively was a matter of life and death. Those who could sync with the group had higher chances of survival and passing on their genes. Conforming wasn't just a choice, it was an instinctual survival strategy. The roots of conformity lie deep within our DNA, passed on from generation to generation. Fast forward to today, we're no longer hunter-gatherers, but the instinct to conform remains ingrained. Only now, it's not about physical survival but fitting into societal constructs. A major player in shaping these constructs is cultural norms. These norms dictate what is acceptable behavior within a society and set expectations for individuals. Cultural norms wield power. They shape behavior and create expectations, often without us realizing it. When you feel the pressure to act or think a certain way, that's cultural norms at play. Ingrained so deeply in our psyche, they influence our actions subtly yet powerfully. So much so that we might conform without even questioning why. Ernest Becker, in his theory on cultural heroism, suggests that humans desire to be part of something larger than themselves. This desire drives us to adhere to cultural norms and societal standards, even at the cost of personal authenticity. In essence, there's an interplay between our evolutionary instincts and cultural influences, shaping our tendency towards conformity. Does this mean we're forever bound by these invisible chains? Not quite. As we'll explore in later sections, breaking free from this mold isn't just possible, it's empowering. When we speak of conformity, the image that often comes to mind is one of uniformity and harmony. But what happens when this uniformity becomes a chainsaw, slicing through individual uniqueness and personal growth? Let's delve into this aspect by analyzing its negative impact. Conformity's detrimental effects on individual well-being are hard to ignore. In our quest to fit in, we often suppress our true feelings and desires. This suppression can lead to psychological discomfort, stress, and even depression. We pretend to be someone we're not, leading us down the path of cognitive dissonance, an uncomfortable mental state due to conflicting attitudes or beliefs. It's like being a bird caged, despite having wings ready to take flight.
To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment.
The loss of authenticity is another significant downside of conformity. Authenticity, the act of being true to oneself, takes a back seat when conformity rules the roost. People often adopt opinions, behaviors, or lifestyles that contradict their genuine selves just to fit in. It's like wearing a mask every day. After a while, we might forget what our real face looks like. Conformity also imposes limitations and restrictions on individuals. These constraints can stifle creativity and hinder personal growth as we're discouraged from thinking outside the box or challenging the status quo. Society's norms become a boundary wall around us, preventing us from exploring beyond what's deemed acceptable or normal. It's akin to walking on a tightrope where any misstep could result in societal disapproval. As we've seen, conformity isn't as rosy as it first appears. It has sharp thorns that can cause deep wounds if we get too close. Let's shift gears now and look at how striving for authenticity can help us navigate around these thorny issues. We march onto the path of authenticity and its rewards. Authenticity, the act of aligning one's actions and words with their beliefs and values, holds the key to personal growth and fulfillment. When we choose authenticity over conformity, a domino effect ensues, cascading benefits across various aspects of our lives. Accepting oneself, warts and all, forms the bedrock of mental well-being. Authenticity encourages us to view ourselves through a lens of acceptance rather than judgment. This self-acceptance mitigates negative emotions like guilt, shame, or regret, ultimately fostering mental well-being. Have you ever noticed how drawn you are to people who are real? Authentic people attract others like moths to a flame. Authenticity promotes trust and understanding in relationships. It enables us to connect on a deeper level by fostering empathy and respect. Authenticity empowers us. It gives us the courage to live according to our values rather than societal expectations. This leads to a sense of fulfillment as we take control of our lives and make decisions that resonate with our true selves. Embracing authenticity can feel like an uphill battle at times. The societal pressure to conform can be overwhelming. Yet, each step towards authenticity brings us closer to personal freedom, the freedom to be ourselves unapologetically. So, how does one cultivate authenticity? It begins with introspection, taking time out from the hustle-bustle of everyday life to understand who we truly are. Practices like mindfulness and journaling can facilitate this process by helping us become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and values. Finding your passions forms another crucial step towards authenticity. Our passions often reflect our core values and give us a sense of purpose. Pursuing them allows us to express ourselves authentically. As we strive for authenticity, remember that it's not about being perfect or completely rejecting societal norms. It's about finding balance, honoring societal rules that align with our values while challenging those that don't serve us. Allow me to paint a picture for you. Imagine a society where everyone wears the same clothes, eats the same food, and holds the same opinions. Sounds dystopian, right? Well, this is the reality we may inadvertently create if we continually conform without questioning. A significant danger associated with conformity is the suppression of creativity and innovation. When individuals think, act, and live similarly, it becomes challenging for fresh ideas to emerge and thrive. The diversity of thought is not just essential, but pivotal for societal evolution and advancement. This variety stimulates scientific discoveries, artistic marvels, and social revolutions. However, conformity can lead to a phenomenon known as groupthink, where maintaining harmony within a group becomes more important than critically evaluating the decisions at hand. In such situations, dissenting opinions are discouraged, leading to poor decision-making and potentially disastrous outcomes. Moreover, Persistent conformity and groupthink can pave the way for totalitarian regimes. When individual thoughts and actions align with a single perspective or ideology without questioning, it gives unchecked power to certain individuals or groups. This can lead to the oppression of dissenting voices and potential misuse of power. Thus, while conformity might provide temporary comfort in fitting in with societal norms, its long-term effects can be threatening to both personal authenticity and collective societal growth.
The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man.
On an individual level, continuous conformity can lead to a loss of personal identity and authenticity. In trying to fit into societal molds, we often suppress our true selves and desires. This can lead to feelings of frustration, dissatisfaction, and even depression. Remember Ivan Ilyich from Tolstoy's novella, The Death of Ivan Ilyich. He lived his life according to society's expectations, climbing the ladder of success but feeling empty inside. It was only on his deathbed that he realized his life lacked authenticity and personal fulfillment.
It occurred to him that what had appeared perfectly impossible before, namely that he had not spent his life as he should have done, might after all be true.
His story serves as a stark warning against living a life devoid of authenticity, a life filled with regret. In essence, conformity might seem like the easy path, one that avoids conflict and judgment. But let's remember, it's often through conflict and facing judgment that we grow as individuals and as societies. So step out of your comfort zone, dare to be different. Embrace your uniqueness because ultimately, you are you, not a carbon copy of someone else. In the end, the choice to conform or to embrace authenticity is yours. It's a journey that each one of us needs to embark upon. It's about self-discovery and finding our own path in this vast labyrinth we call life. If you found this exploration insightful and thought-provoking, we encourage you to share your experiences. Have there been moments when you felt the necessity to conform when you didn't want to? Or perhaps instances when you've successfully broken with conforming and embraced your true self? We'd love to hear your stories. So, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. Remember, every story shared is a beacon for someone else navigating their way towards authenticity. And last but not least, if you enjoyed this content, do hit the like button and subscribe for more enlightening explorations into the human psyche. Together, let's create a community that values authenticity over conformity. So, here's to all the brave souls daring to be themselves in a world that often urges them otherwise. Here's to authenticity. Until next time.